Welcome to Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. I'm Steve Swatt with the Sacramento Report. In the next few minutes, we're going to be talking about an effort at the state capitol to do something about the homelessness throughout California. My guest this segment is David Chiu, a member of the State Assembly from San Francisco. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me on again.
So we should say at the outset that you are chair of the Housing and Community Development Committee in the Assembly, and I know you've taken on affordable housing and all sorts of issues regarding housing. Homelessness is related to that. So tell us about your new approach.
Sure. Well, up and down the state of California, we are seeing an affordable housing crisis. And you combine with that the fact that California right now has the highest poverty rate in the country when you include housing costs. And the daily physical manifestation of that is the enormous number of homeless residents that we have throughout California.
Aren't we short like 1.5 million affordable places to live?
1.5 million affordable places, but just as importantly, 1 out of 4 Americans who is homeless lives in California. 1 out of 3 homeless individuals who have a mental illness is in California. And so we all know from San Diego up to the North Coast that these are issues that we need to tackle. My committee, working alongside a number of our budget committees, we are looking at how do we invest in ways that are smart. So for example, we know that if you are homeless and we don't find you a home, you are more likely to cost the public thousands of dollars more money because of emergency room care and other public health costs. And we want to think about how do we invest not in those after the fact healthcare costs, but invest in providing people housing so they're not in that situation in the first place. Similarly, if you're homeless, you are far more likely to get arrested for a variety of quality of life offenses that will cause you to be put in jail, put in prison. That will cost tens of thousands of dollars or more after the fact, rather than figuring out if we can put you in a home. The number one approach to dealing with helping to move people off of their homeless situation is to provide so-called supportive housing, which is a roof over someone's head, but also a social worker, a caseworker to help address the mental illness, drug or alcohol addiction, to help someone get back up on their feet, help them with the job training or the ability to find a job. And these are the smarter approaches, the more proactive approaches that I hope our state will focus on.
As a practical matter, you're talking about some ongoing expenditures. And you know this governor does not believe that that's an appropriate way to go, given the precariousness of the state budget.
So we're having that very conversation about the best so-called one-time uses. If we were to spend money in the short run, how could we best impact homelessness? Really 2 ways. One, we know that if we were actually build more housing, particularly so-called supportive housing, that this is housing that would last for the next 5 decades. And so that sort of short-term investment is very worthwhile. We also know that if we rapidly rehouse families and individuals who have just become homeless, if we are able to assist them with some rental assistance or otherwise get them into shelter quickly, that will significantly decrease the chance that they will remain homeless for the long term. So those are a couple of policies that we're looking at right now.
Okay, we only have 30 seconds left. I want to touch on one subject very briefly because it's in the news, and that's dealing with rape kits that are just sitting on the shelf. We've known in recent years there are thousands of rape kits in California that remain untested, and we know how much of a travesty that is, not just for the victims and survivors of those crimes, but the future victims of predators who are still on the streets. I have a bill with our Attorney General Kamala Harris to require law enforcement agencies to tell the state how many kits are untested so we really know what the size of the problem is and can address it. All right, we're going to have to leave it there because we're out of time. We're going to have you back to talk more about this issue.
Happy to come back.
Thanks for coming by. A reminder, you can see this and other interviews on YouTube, My Government on Demand, and the California channel. Have a great day.